Dear Dhamma friends, very good morning to you all. Today we are going to discuss about the Buddha's advice on diet. Very famous topic and controversial topic. Yeah, there are various kinds of ideas related to this topic. In this discussion, I would like to draw your attention for many directions. First of all, we see the advice of the Buddha. Here I have quoted one verse I took as a topic. This verse, it is in Thera Gatha, Sariputta Thera Gatha. There are many verses in that section which is connected to the Sariputta Thera. He recited few verses. They are in this Thera Gatha section. In this first verse, 982, whether the food he eats is moist or dry, he doesn't overeat. He keeps some empty space in his stomach. A monk should eat mindfully, knowing the limit. That is how a monk should live. So, Sariputta Thera is giving this idea with the respect of the Buddha. Buddha has preached these things. Hearing these things from Buddha, Sariputta and other disciples always reminding those very important doctrinal facts to the devotees and to other monks. In this verse, Chattaro pancha alope abhutva udakampive Alampasu Viharaya Pahitatassa Bhikkhuno, 983, verse number. Without eating the last 4 or 5 mouthfuls, he should fill his stomach with water. This leads to the comfort of a monk who is diligent in reaching Nibbana. This advice is enough for us. So when we eat, when we take food, we should not eat up to the throat. Normally, the greedy people are eating in that way. In the period of Vesak, there are many alms holes on the roadsides. One of Sri Lankan boys told me, he ate from 10 places. In Sri Lanka, it is very common. There are many alms holes on the roadsides. They can taste various kinds of things, drinking things and eating things, eatable things. So that boy told me he has taken food from 10 places. So I asked, so what happened to you? Now I can't walk. My stomach is very full. On the way I vomited because of the food. He has eaten much. This way we should not eat. We see some people are going to the parties. So wedding parties, birthday parties, they get food free of charge, no? So sometimes to the funeral events. So if there are free food, they take much. No need to pay. They take much. At that time, he eats more and more. So it is no good for our body. That idea is given in this verse. Without eating the last 4 or 5 mouthfuls, chattaro pancha alope, we have to drink water. We have to fill the space. Drinking water, it is a healthy action, healthy diet. It is called healthy diet. So this verse is actually related to the monks Alampasu Viharaya Pahitattas Bhikkhuno, it is creating a comfort to the monks who are practicing meditation, who are following the path to the liberation. Pahitattas Bhikkhuno. So this idea is connected to the monks. Then you will think, oh, this is not for us. This is not for the lay people. This is only for the monks. Then I can eat more and more. So let's see. Buddha explain the same thing to the King Kosala. He is a layman. No? So Buddha explained the balanced diet. The Buddha gives advice to King Kosala about how to live a balanced and healthy life. He emphasizes moderation in eating and drinking, recommending that one should not overeat and should drink water after eating a certain amount of food. The same verse is there in Maha Sihanada Sutta. Chattaro panchalope abhutva udakampive. King Kosala had a big stomach. So he couldn't bow down to the Buddha because of a big stomach. So it moves to the knee, that much big stomach. He ate much. So after coming to the Buddha, he said, Venerable Sir, I can't bow down you, as some people are saying present day also. Brother Leslie, you can, no? So stomach is very big, difficult to bend down. So the King Kosala had such a position, then informed to the Buddha, Venerable Sir, sorry for me, I can't bow down, I can't worship you, knee down, it is difficult. Then Buddha said, King Kosala, you are eating much, you are drinking much, that is the reason. You have to control your food system and you have to eat less than this time. You have to reduce your food. That is why Buddha explained the same thing to the King Kosala. Chattaro panchalope abhutva udakam pive. So here is a question and answer. Food for life or life for food? So I have answered, the tick mark is there. That sentence is correct. I think your answer also may be the correct. Food for life. Life for food. There are some people, they are living for food. They think the life for food. Always try to take various kinds of food. They try to taste different kinds of food. Chinese food, Indian food, Malaysian food, various kinds of foods are tasting day by day. That thirsty on food will not end. So we are not living for the food. Food for living. Reflecting wisely, one uses alms food neither for amusement nor for intoxication, nor for the sake of physical beauty and attractiveness, but only for the endurance and continuation of this body, for ending discomfort and for assisting the holy life. Considering, thus, I shall terminate all feelings of hunger without arousing new feelings of overeating, and I shall be healthy and blameless and live in comfort. This paragraph is very connected to the Patisankha Yoniso Pindapatam Patisevami. When the monks are having lunch or food, they recite it before having food. In our Dhanasala, alms hall also, it is happening. Venerable monks are reciting it in Pali. The meaning is here. We take food for the continuation of our meditation activities and also the Buddha Sasana activities and for the safe of our life. We don't take food to make our body strong or make it as a beautiful one. We don't think in that way. So if you observe 8 precepts, the same way you are thinking. Before taking the meal, you contemplate, you think, sometimes recite some lines. We take this food for the continuation of our life and the holy life, especially holy life. We take food not for any other empirical, worldly reasons are there for taking food. So this is very useful to us. Then food is first for living beings. This teaching is very connected to the teaching of the Buddha. Buddha has given one section, Kuddaka Pata, it is called minor readings. In Kuddaka Pata, we have 10 questions and 10 answers. It is mostly connected to the Samanera monks. They have to keep in mind these 10 questions and 10 answers. Therefore, it is called Samanera Panha. So, first question is Eka Nama King. What is the first thing? What is the first? Answer, Sabbe Satta Aharattitika. All beings subsist on food. Without food, we can't survive. So all beings are surviving with the food. Food is the first. So you don't think in this way, no? So food is not the first, but without food we can't live. That is why Buddha said the first thing is food. It's very correct actually. When we go somewhere, we think about the food. And when you go to a party, wedding party or birthday party or somewhere, just you see the first thing as food. Is it good or bad? After coming back also you are talking about the food, no? That food was no good, very bad, no delicious, and criticizing it. So they are thinking about the food. That is why Buddha also said the first thing is food. Which food approved by the Buddha? The Buddha did not specify a comprehensive list of approved foods, but provided guidelines on what is suitable for consumption, especially for monastics. Here are some key principles and examples. Alms food. Monastics are to eat what is offered to them during alms round. They are to accept whatever is given, as long as it meets certain ethical guidelines. When we go on alms round, people are offering many things, foods and drinks and various kinds of things. Whatever they offer, we have to accept. Eating or not eating is connected to the monk. So Buddha said you have to accept all the things whatever devotees are offering. Use in your bowl. Meat eating in Buddhism, non-violence and compassion. Food that does not involve the killing of animals specifically for the person consuming it is generally approved. The Buddha emphasized non-violence and compassion towards all living beings. Threefold purity rule connected to the meat eating. According to the Jivaka Sutta, monastics can consume meat if it is Tihiko ahang jivaka tanehi mansam aparibhoganti vadami dittham sutam parisankitam. This means that the Buddha clarifies that he and his disciples do not eat meat if they have seen, heard, or suspected that the animal was killed specially for their consumption. Ditta Sutta Parisanka. There are 3 words in this sutta. Jivaka Sutta, you have to remember. If we see someone is killing animal for the food of myself, to offer for me, we should not eat it. If someone says, this meat is prepared for you, I killed that animal only for you, please accept it, please eat it. At that time, Buddha said, don't eat. Because we heard, no, that animal was killed for me. So Buddha said, don't eat it. Then the third one is suspected. If I feel that animal was killed for me, I go to meet some friends in a house, then he prepare food for me. There are some chickens and all those animals. Sometimes there may be other animals who are taking for the food. Then he has prepared meat. Sometimes I hear the voice of that animal. He is killing. That animal is shouting. Then I have a risk or doubt, suspicion. At that time, I should not eat that meat because that animal was killed for me. I heard the voice or noise of that animal crying. I have a doubt. I am suspected, that animal was killed for me to prepare food. At that time, I should not eat. This way, Buddha gave some restrictions. So you can think now that other meat can eat. Not seen, not heard, not suspected. That is the teaching of the Buddha. This is called Tikoti Parisuddha Mansa. Tikoti Parisuddha Mansa. In Jivaka Sutta it is given. Yeah, it is actually connected to the lay people also. We will see in next slides, we will see restricted meat by the Buddha. There are 10 kinds of meat restricted by the Buddha for all, not only for the monks, for all devotees. So what are these 10 kinds of meat? Human flesh. Human flesh we should not eat. Elephant flesh, horse flesh, dog flesh, snake flesh, tiger, leopard, bear, hyena. These are 10 kinds of flesh we should not eat. These prohibitions are found in the Sutta Vibhanga, especially in Besajja Kandaka also we can see Vinaya Pitaka, which elaborates on the rules for monks and nuns in the Vinaya Pitaka. These are given in Vinaya Pitaka. The list of restricted meats emphasizes the importance of not causing harm to beings that are seen as significant, powerful, or potentially causing distress to others. So when we eat these kinds of meat, it is very dangerous because when we walk on the roads or in the forest or somewhere, those animals can have sense. This one has eaten my flesh or my friend's flesh, then attack. They have got feelings. At once they can recognize this one. If we have eaten elephant flesh, elephants can at once recognize. They will have a sense. Then they will attack to that person. If we ate lion flesh, Lions can recognize at once. Then they follow us. They attack us. They do wrong things us. Then other animals also same. Even dogs, if we eat a dog flesh, they can recognize at once. Then they will follow us and bite. That is why Buddha mentioned these 10 kinds of meats are prohibited. In that period, monks were moving in the forest and in jungle areas, rural areas. At that time, they faced lots of problems. It means in early period, people offered meat to the monks. They have taken meat. After many incidents, Buddha gave this rule in Vinaya Pitaka. Now also you will think, except these 10 kinds of meat, we can eat meat, no? Other chicken, beef, mutton, pork, we can eat, no? Not included here. They are not included. Yeah, let's see. Devadatta's 5 requests. Devadatta requested from the Buddha in this way: monks should live all their lives in the forest. Monks should live entirely on alms obtained by begging. Monks should wear only robes made from discarded rags. Monks should dwell at the foot of a tree and not under a roof. Monks should not eat fish or meat. The last one you see. What happened to the Devadatta? This is in Chulla Pali, chapter 6, Bhikkhu Patimokha. The Buddha rejected these 5 requests. Rejected. The last one also rejected. Monks should not eat fish or meat. Buddha rejected, stating that while monks could choose to follow these practices if they wished, they should not be imposed as mandatory rules for the entire monastic community. According to these things, we can see Buddha hasn't prohibited meat eating, no? So why we are talking about vegetarianism? Mostly people are talking about vegetarianism. Buddha didn't make any rules to stop meat eating. In Jivaka Sutta, Buddha explained which meat can we eat. In many suttas I have read, Buddha gave some instructions. We should not accept raw meat. Raw meat. Amaka mansa patiggahana pativirato hota. In many suttas I have found it. Amaka mansa means raw meat. We should not accept raw meat. Cooked meat, except those meats we can have according to the teaching of the Buddha. This is the Buddhism. So there are many explanations given by many people. It depends on the person. We will see which food is recommended for lay persons in Buddhism. While the Pali Canon does not provide a specific list of recommended foods for lay people, it promotes a diet that is mindful, ethical, and conducive to health and well-being. Lay followers are encouraged to practice moderation, avoid harming living beings, and choose foods that support their physical and spiritual development. The rules which are given by the Buddha are mostly very connected to the lay people also. So Buddha wanted spiritual persons in this society. He didn't want to improve any kinds of harmful ideas or concepts. That is why I mentioned the given rules, concepts, ideas are very connected to the lay people also. When Buddha addressed the people as Bhikkhave, in that word there are 4 groups of people: Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, Upasika. 4 groups are included in that word. In commentaries it is explained when Buddha addressed as Bhikkhave. When Buddha didn't want to expand his teaching having many words, then therefore Buddha used one word, Bhikkhave. In that word, 4 disciples are there: Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, Upasaka, Upasika. Upasaka, Upasika connected to the lay people who are the following the path of the Buddha or teaching of the Buddha. Try incorporating the following ingredients into your daily meal plan. These things are very connected to the Buddhism. In Besajja Khandaka, in Vinaya Pitaka, there are mentions. I have taken their English names here. Vegetables, fruits, nuts and seeds, legumes, roots and tubers, whole grains. These are eligible food. So some kinds of proteins also can be taken using these, eating these kinds of foods. Some doctors are saying we have to eat meat to get some kinds of proteins. We can't have those kinds of proteins which are connected to the meat from vegan foods. But there is a new finding. When we eat these kinds of seeds, nuts, legumes like mung beans, black-eyed peas, kidney beans, lentils and chickpeas. In these seeds, there are the proteins which are connected to the animal meat, flesh, animal flesh. Dietary, cheese, yogurt, milk, ghee, herbs and spices, garlic, ginger, cardamom and these things. Healthy fats, coconut milk, full fat dairy, avocado, coconut oil, mustard oil, olive oil, peanut oil, sesame oil. Protein sources, tofu, legumes, dairy, nuts and seeds. Meals and snacks should focus on fresh, whole food flavored with herbs and spice. Additionally, adding non-starchy vegetables like greens, brinjals or tomatoes to your meal will provide a boost of fiber that can help you feel satisfied for a longer period of time after eating. So there are many kinds of food systems we can eat and we can survive. We will not die. Some people think if we don't eat meat, we will die soon. There is no such kind of idea. On vegetarianism in Buddhism brings very practical and valuable values and benefits. This is a beautiful lifestyle, a culture of elegant eating and full of humanity. The issue of vegetarianism with the love of all species, respect for life, equality, and environmental protection also embodied the Buddhist spirit that is true to its religion. So we never approve killing beings, no? So if we eat meat, we are supporting to the killings. That is the problem. We will understand here. If all human beings stop eating meat, so animals will not kill, no? They will live freely. Plant-based diet. A Buddhist diet follows a primarily plant-based approach. A plant-based diet rich in fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole grains, legumes, and beans. This diet provides important compounds such as antioxidants, phytochemicals, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, which have been associated with a decreased risk of heart disease. Aside from these health benefits, following a plant-based or vegetarian diet may also benefit your waistline. Dangers of animal eating. Statistics. Samahita Nature Foundation, a Sri Lankan scientist who is living in America, he has done a research. Dr. Ananda Mahinkanda. So according to his research, I have taken these things. 70 billion farm animals are killed every year. See how many animals are killing? 70 billion. Farm animals are killed every year. 200 million a day. One day, 200 million animals are killing for the food of human beings. That is 10 times the world population. Including wild animals and fish, it is 1.2 trillion per year. To feed animals for food, a huge number of resources are wasted. The world can't sustain that way. 70% of the world's grain production is used to feed animals, while 1 billion people are in poverty without food. We can use that food and completely eradicate poverty and hunger if we stop animal eating. They spend much money for feeding animals for the flesh. All the major world problems are caused by animal farming, namely water shortage, food shortage, global warming, and other environmental disasters such as soil erosion, destruction of forest and sea erosion. To produce 1 kg of vegetable, it needs only 150 liters of water. But to produce 1 kg of beef, it needs a staggering 15,500 liters of water, causing a huge water shortage in the world. To produce 1 kg of animal protein, you need 7 kgs of plant protein. What a crime. So there are many places in the world as animal farms, no? They are using lots of things to feed them. All transportation in the world emits 13% of carbon dioxide. But animal agriculture emits a staggering 51% of carbon dioxide with methane and nitrous oxide. Animal agriculture, we have used AG as agriculture, shortened form. Animal agriculture is the #1 contributor for climate change. 91% of the Amazon forest destruction is for clearing the land for animal agriculture. Animal agriculture is another section, animal agriculture. That is the major reason for extinction of species Ocean dead zones are created by high volume fishing. Major reason for the non-communicable diseases, it is named as NCD, is consumption of animal protein. Because of having animal protein, we are having non-communicable diseases. In Sri Lanka, 82.5% of people die from non-communicable diseases. Sugar, it means diabetic, cholesterol and various kinds of problems, pressure. In Sri Lanka, almost every family is suffering from NCDs, cancer, heart disease, diabetes and hypertension, fatty liver. These problems are arising because of eating flesh, animal eating. That is why it is danger. Coronavirus and all the major viruses such as swine flu, H1N1, mad cow disease, Ebola, COVID are all coming from animals. They came from the animals. Physically and spiritually, we are really sitting on a time bomb. Those who follow proper Buddhism with non-violent principles will only enjoy peace. Now, what do you think? Do you think you should eat meat more and more? According to these informations, we have to get one decision. It's dangerous. These days, various kinds of chemicals are using to feed animals. You know, in my area in Sri Lanka, there are many farms for the chickens. So I get various news about the feeding those chickens. They are selling after 25 days. After 25 days, they sell those chickens. They use chemical things, various kinds of proteins. They put into eye some drops. 2-3 days, the bird is crying because of the pain. Then they inject some kinds of medicines to make full body, make the body grow. So, hormones. After 25 days, that one is very big. 2 kilo, 1 kilo, they can earn money. 1 kilo, 1,000 rupees in Sri Lanka. So, chicken. If he has got 1,000 birds, he can be a very rich one. No? They are doing it for money. Very dangerous. Poisonous. If we eat these kinds of flesh, what will happen to us? We will die soon. Cancer, there are common diseases as cancer, diabetics and all those things are very common. Heart attack. These are because of eating such kind of dangerous flesh. The chapter 8 of Arya Lankavatara Sutra is contributed for the discussion of vegetarianism in Mahayana tradition. So, in this section, we can learn the Mahayanist doesn't like to eat meat. In Lankavatara Sutra, it is connected to the Mahayana tradition. I have read this sutra. So the chapter 8 is separated from the vegetarianism. So there are few points given by them. Number 1, relativeness. Before eating, we have to think all sentient beings are constantly going through a cycle of transmigration and stand to one another in every possible form of relationship. Some of these are living at present even as the lower animals. While they so differ from us now, they all are of the same kind us as ourselves. To take their lives and eat their flesh is like eating our own relatives. So in this birth cycle, they have got both as our mother, parents, and sons, daughters. So if we eat them, we are eating our mother, we are eating our father. We have to think in that way. In this sutra, it is explained. Second one, compassion. Bodhisattva is a person who is full of compassion, and he thinks others as if they are himself. Sarva bhutatma bhuta. Therefore, he avoids of meat eating with this great compassion. With the compassion, we can't eat meat. We have got compassion towards animals. Therefore, we can't eat meat. Eating meat causes for the entire transformation of the body. Due to that reason, the body emits an offensive and poisonous odor. Animals are keen enough to sense the approach of such a person. This is bad for the development of good qualities, of bodhisattva qualities. They can't practice compassion due to meat eating. This is very connected to the bodhisattva life. So in this sutra, it is saying that if we eat meat, the animals can experience the sense of that. They will attack to that bodhisattva, and also bodhisattva also will not have compassion towards them. The animals are frightened from him and try to attack or leave that person. It will be a cause for the damage of kind heart and friendly heart. Then fifth one, goats will not help him. No protection from the goats. If we eat meat, goat will not look at us. They will go away. Then sixth one, animal food is filthy. It readily decays, putrefies and taints. It is filled with pollutions. Sixth one is animal food is filthy. Mostly they are talking why we enter dead bodies into our body. We should not enter dead bodies into our body. So this body will become a cemetery, no? So various kind of dead bodies are inserting into our body. So it is no good. Seventh, the eater of meat shares in this pollution spirituality. So those are the facts given in Lanka Avatar Sutra. They are very useful, though they are connected to the Mahayana tradition. Dinner. Now I go to the last point. Last point is dinner no good. Don't take dinner from today. After hearing this, you will avoid it. In Kitagiri Sutta Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha emphasizes the importance of following the discipline, including the rule of eating only during the designated time before noon. This helps maintain mindfulness and aids in their spiritual practice by avoiding the heaviness and lethargy that can come from eating later in the day. This time also Brother Leslie will ask, is it connected to the lay people? Yeah, it is connected to the lay people also, not only for the monks. Because I abstain from eating at night. By so doing, I am free from illness and affliction, and I enjoy lightness, strength, and a comfortable abiding. Buddha said this. Buddha addressed the monks, because I abstain from eating at night. By so doing, I am free from illness. It means dinner is producing illness, no? If we have very hard, big dinner, it is a cause for the sickness. Digesting is not happening well. because we are on the bed, we are not working. It is a very simple thing we can understand. Daytime, no problem, we are working, we are doing many works. At night, after eating, at once we go to the bed. We sleep, no? We sleep, no working. Digesting problem will happen. If we take oily food, much more dangerous. It's better to have a simple food at night. So come bhikkhus, abstain from eating at night. By so doing, you too will be free from illness and affliction. And you will enjoy lightness, strength, and a comfortable abiding. After giving this instruction, the monks were saying, Venerable Sir, we had a rich food at night. Daytime we didn't have any rich food, because when we move to obtain alms, daytime, people are not in the houses. They have gone for their works, jobs and other places. Only few people offer food. When we go alms round at night, all are in the houses. They have prepared very rich food. They are staying together. Various kinds of foods are there. They offer us. It is rich food. Daytime, no good. Food is not enough. So Bhante, please allow us to go alms round at night. Don't make rules for that. Buddha said, don't think it as a heavy rule. Don't think it as a heavy burden. This is for your spiritual progress. If you take food much afternoon, here mentioned lethargy, heaviness and lethargy will come to us and can't meditate more. We have to sleep. Like Uposatha day, after having food, mostly feels lethargy, In my temple, some upasikas are sleeping. Going some places, they are sleeping because they have taken much. It is producing lethargy, sleepiness. So, finished. I have finished my discussion. As we discussed, we have taken short period. Now we have time to discuss, many things to discuss. Okay, I would like to wind up saying it with the support of these ideas. You may have a good concept. I think depend on your will, you can eat meat or not. It depends on you. Buddha didn't prohibited it, you have to remember. But when we see the later part, the explanations, just we feel, I am also be vegetarian one. Thinking the same way. Okay, it's time to discuss.
Bhante, for the purpose of academic, all right, the choice is up to each individual on how they understand from the Buddha's teaching. So from what we understand from the Jivika Sutta and the Mahayana Sutta there, is there by any chance that it started with Evang Me Sutang, or it is something that only come in later? Otherwise, it will be seen that the Buddha contradicts himself.
Yes, it's a common question. Actually, those sutras are written in Sanskrit, especially mixed Pali and Sanskrit. They are named as Buddhist hybrid Sanskrit sutras. Buddhist hybrid sutras. It means Pali and Sanskrit mixed. They are starting Evang Maya Srutam Bhagava Raja Gruhe Viharati. Sanskritized. They have given them as the expressions of the Buddha. They have created. These are the later discourses, not preached by the Buddha. Those sutras are created by Mahayana scholars, Mahayana Buddhist scholars. So they wanted those sutras to be connected to the Buddha. Buddha has preached. This Lankavatara Sutra also same. In the beginning it is given Evang Maya Srutam Bhagava. Buddha taught this sutra to the Ravana, Sri Lankan king at that period. There's a story in the beginning, then many chapters are there. Here I mentioned the chapter 8. Chapter 8 is named as Mansa Bhaksana Parivarta. Mansa Bhaksana Parivarta, the chapter which is called vegetarianism, connected to the vegetarianism. So, brother, these sutras are were composed by the later Buddhist scholars. These sutras are not preached by the Buddha, but they are starting in the similar way in Pali Suttas, Evam Me Sutang.
In one of the first few slides, you mentioned that the Buddha advised the bhikkhus to keep the last 4 or 5 mouthfuls and then have water.
Okay.
Well, to me, it seems like wastage of food. Right? I mean, the monk or the bhikkhu shouldn't have accepted so much of food. They should know what is enough for the daily consumption and not waste food.
Yeah.
It seems a bit contradictory to me. I mean,
Okay. So, wasting food is not approved by the Buddha. So, when we obtain food, so we have to obtain it as enough. We should not take much. Buddha said we have to think about pattapamana. Bhojanesu mattanyo. We have to know the limit accepting the food and eating food. So sometimes people are offering, delivering food. At that times, because of the friendship, they offer more and more. Bhante, please take another spoon, like that. So sometimes they accept, but they can't eat. They will give back, please throw it. It is no good. Buddha didn't approve the wasting, even water, even food or anything, even the ropes also. We have to use them until the last point. So food, if there are excess food, we have to give those foods to other persons. And also we can give them to the animals also. Don't waste. So this is the instruction of the Buddha. So before accepting food, we have to think about the amount, which amount can I finish. We have to think it as monks. So lay people also should think. When we see many kinds of food, we take, we fill our plate, getting all those things, but we can't finish. The difficulty is there. Therefore, Buddha mentioned, don't waste food.
Bhante, referring to a certain food that is prohibited from eating, is the preparation of raw food is considered as totally prohibited, or is it that to abstain from raw food it is more on to health concern? Because basically the spiritual practice here is that you need a healthy body. Is it must be strictly prohibited as in prohibition, or is something that is for the purpose for your health? Because there are some Japanese cuisine like sashimi, if we were to put with wasabi kind of thing, then that one is actually really pure, really raw. Or we can have steak prepared in raw rather than medium or fully cooked. So what is Reverend's opinion on this?
Please wait. Your question is accepting raw flesh, no? Amaka mansa patighana. It is mentioned in suttas. I don't know the reason. Actually, in amaka, not only amaka mansa or raw flesh, but also the grains also prohibited. Amaka means raw grains. We as monks should not accept raw grains also. Amaka dhanya patighana pativirata. I don't know the reason. So the flesh is, I think we have disgusting condition on flesh, no? When we see bloody and smelly flesh, it's, I think, cause for the disgusting condition. Actual reason I don't know, brother. However, it is mentioned in many suttas, raw fish, raw flesh and raw grains must be accepted by the Buddhist monks. It is mentioned in many places.
Yeah, maybe it's due to digestion, Bhante. If you take raw meat or raw grains, you'll call digestive problems or stomach problems, which then you fall sick and then you can't practice, your practice is then affected, you know.
But after receiving, they can cook, no? They can prepare.
The monks, the bhikkhus will...
In that period, there is no any mention about preparing. But some people has offered raw flesh. That is why Buddha said, don't accept them. It is a cause for dissatisfaction of other persons, I think. When we take into hand raw flesh and carry, when people see it, they will criticize. Even in Jivaka Sutta, it is mentioned that he asked, Venerable Sir, some people are criticizing you, you are having meat, you are accepting meat, you are forcing some people to kill animals. People are criticizing. Venerable Sir, what is your answer? Jivaka asked that question. So the same thing, I think, when monks accepted those kinds of raw flesh or grains, people will criticize. If we take raw seeds, grains, they will criticize, this monk is going to grow, going to farm, he is similar to a lay person. This way they will criticize. So we don't know the real situation in that period. However, it is prohibited.
Thank you, Bhante, for sharing. This is a topic that I think a lot of Buddhists are actually talking about. And from my personal observation, I noticed that Mahayana and Theravada, the devotees, when they come to temples offering food, Mahayana almost is 100% vegetarian, whereas the Theravada, we tend to see there are devotees that come with non-vegetarian food. And like what Bhante shared, that Buddha never strictly prohibited Buddhists must not take meat. And I think I learned from other Bhante were sharing, being a Buddhist, we don't need to be a vegetarian to be a Buddhist. However, on the path of spiritual progress, we will know what to do, what we need to purify our body. And like what Bhante shared, the more carcass we put inside our body, and we will experience that sankhara, the discomfort during the meditation, and we will know what to do. That is when our wisdom arises. And I think in this Buddha, one of the sutta was sharing, there are 5 profession, livelihood which shouldn't get involved. The weapon, the intoxicant, the poison, the trading of human, and also trading and selling, supplying the meats. And in this way, Buddha is telling us that when there is no supply, when there's no demand, there's no supply, there's no demand. I'm not sure what Bhante you think about this aspect.
Actually, I had that slide also. I reduced it, 5 own businesses. Mansa Vanija, it is prohibited to sell flesh, meat. Buddha has restricted it. The other thing is, if he prohibited meat eating, what will happen to the people who are living in the forest? They are living with the meat. Their main food is meat, killing animals and taking food. And the fishermen, their livelihood is going on with the fish. They catch fish and sell. So they mostly eat fish. So the coastal area, there are thousands of people. So they can't become Buddhist because of that rule. Buddha has restricted that one. Killing fish is wrong. Killing is wrong. Eating fish is wrong. That is why I think according to the environmental case, Buddha didn't give a strict rule for this. All Buddhists must stop eating meat. In that period, most of monks are wandering in rural areas, jungle areas. They have to survive. They should live. That time, people offered meat to the monks. They ate. They took them as lunch. If Buddha prohibited, those monks will face a big problem, food problem. We have to think about the environment in that period. That is why Buddha didn't give a strict rule for this. We have to consider more and more about this fact.
Morning, Bhante. From the perspective of the Hindu culture, like let's say the Vedas and Buddhism, I think what's their perception on meat eating? Because for example, the ahimsa and everything is commonly shared, and then it's part of the Hindu culture, millions of years for them. So their rishi and all the practitioner, majority like yogis are the vegetarian as well. So what's their perspective on that part? Because majority of the concept almost the same, only the practice is slightly different. Thank you.
Actually in Hinduism, it is highly prohibited meat eating. Vegetarianism is accepted. It is experienced by me also. When I was studying in India, some Hindu students came to my room and we were discussing. At that time, I was preparing spreads, small fishes for my food. They saw it and then they scolded me, blamed me. Why are you eating these spreads, small fishes, dry fishes? They blamed me and they took my hand. You have to keep your hand on my head. Promise? I don't eat spreads or fish or meat from today. You promise? Then at that time I promised. They were blaming me in very serious way. They didn't like. So in Hinduism it is strictly considered. So in Jain philosophy, Paramavihinsavada is there, as our brother mentioned, Ahimsa theory, non-violence theory. So in that case actually it is extreme. When we walk on the roads, we have to cover our mouth according to their teaching, because some tiny insects are going into the mouth. We can't see them. We have to cover our mouth and nose when we move on the roads. And when we walk, we have to wipe out the road using some kinds of very cotton-made brooms. The Nigantas, the Jaina disciples are going on the way using the same manner. When they move, they are chasing away the ants and other small insects on the roads. Very difficult work. They say when we go without doing it, how many ants and small insects are dying. You are bad and sinful person. Don't kill them. This is extreme. So we should not follow that way. Buddha refuted extreme conditions. We don't have a thought to killing all those beings. When we walk on the roads, many insects are going inside our mouth, dying. We don't know. Some bacteria and various kinds of small tiny creatures are there. We can't find them. Mindfully, we are not doing it. Therefore, no sin. It is not a sinful action. In Hinduism, especially, they are following vegetarianism. So some influences are they are connected to the Jain philosophy for the Hinduism.
Bhante, I have a question on the India. Like when it comes to vegetarianism, like by default, Indians are mostly vegetarian. Or they think that is a better diet. But when it comes to other civilization or what, it's not, vegetarianism is like not by default. Is it something special about this Indian subcontinent? Is it a condition that make vegetarianism is so prevalent under the extent, but as you narrated just now, something like come to extreme, So is there any reason why Indian subcontinent are so different from other part of the world? Thank you.
Yeah, actually Indians are always appreciating non-violence condition. In their food, they are having normal food. I have seen the milk and the chapati and paratha, all those things are. They are having food, breakfast, lunch and dinner. All times they are having these things. Sometimes they don't eat rice also, only roti. These things are their main food. So the concept is they are observing precept because the many animals are gods. They are believing as gods. No, cow is a god. They are. The other animals, rat is a god, cobra is a god, and monkey is a god, and fig is a god. All are gods. They are worshipping them. So how they can eat? That is why I think they are very afraid of eating those things. Especially they are the vehicles of the gods. The gods are sitting on the backside of those animals. They are worshipping. As you know, they are very respecting to the cows. I have seen in the morning they reach to the cow and they worship. They touch their body and they worship to the cow early morning. So I have seen many, even our university students and doctors, scientists also, they are also believing them as gods. I can't imagine it. They go to the temples which are separated for those animals. They go to the Hanuman Mandir. There is a monkey. They are worshipping, oh Hanuman, please pray for me. Like that, no? They are worshipping, but they are scientists, they are doctors. This is the religion. So because of the influence of religion, they are observing that precept very well. They are vegetarians. They observe it very well.
Morning, Bhante.
Morning.
I wanted to ask about the Mahayana Sutra you mentioned earlier. And in one of the points mentioned was if you eat meat, there would be no protection from the gods. And another one is somehow if you eat meat, it kind of like pollute you spiritually. I want to ask about, is it possible for that to happen? And I also want to ask about another thing, because some Mahayana Buddhists, they say that we shouldn't eat garlic or onion because it's kind of smelly and the gods doesn't want to approach us, but the gods really love people who eat onions and garlic. I want to ask about this. What do you think about that? Thank you, Bhante.
Oh, good question, brother. Actually, Buddha also mentioned, if we consider meat eaters are polluted ones, so do you think cows and other animals who are eating grass, they are pure persons? Are they pure ones? Because they don't eat meat, they eat only grass. Do you think them as arahants? Do you think them as very purified ones? Buddha said, the eating is not creating a spiritual one. Eating is not creating a spiritual one. Please remember that sentence. The food cannot be purified the person. Buddha explained in a place. So, according to Mahayana sutras, they say the gods will not respect you because you are eating meat. It is producing bad smell. Producing bad smell is correct. Actually, if someone eat meat, we can experience when he speak, the bad smell is coming out from his mouth. From the body also emitting some bad smell who are eating meat much. As some persons are there who are using alcohol daily, at once we can smell from his body the alcohol is emitting, bad smell is emitting. If there is someone who has used alcohol, at once we can recognize, he has taken alcohol. So in the same way, if someone eat meats, the bad smell is emitting from the body, and also they ask the teaching, the gods will not respect him. According to Mahayana tradition, it is given. We don't know the actual nature. We can't see the gods, whether they are worshipping us or not, we can't see. If we are, they are with spirituality, actually in many suttas, even in the Uposatha Sutta, it is mentioned that if human beings are full of Uposatha Sila precepts, gods are worshipping to those human beings. Sitting there in the heaven, they worship. Even the Lord of Gods, Sakka, also worshipping to those people who are observing precepts, who are observing spiritual practices. They are venerated by the gods. It is given. The actual situation we can't see because these things are invisible things. However, if we are pure, if we don't eat meat, ourselves, we have got very, very strong thought. I am vegetarian, I am free of alcohol, I am a spiritual one, then there arises strength, mental strength and physical strength towards us. So let's try to practice these two things, vegetarianism and free from alcohols and drugs. Okay.
I think not all vegetarians are good, Bhante.
Okay.
Hitler is a good example. He's a vegetarian, but look at what he did.
And there's just one more question on these biological evolutions. Like in the modern scientific perspective, always thinks that human are evolved, from Africa. we were primates. We eat fruits on the tree. So for vegetarians, they will justify, for millions of year evolutions, we have been primates. We have been, apes. So we have been eating fruits. But then because after that, Africa have turned into desert or savanna, so they have to come down from the tree and start to learn from other lions, lions especially, how to hunt. So they start eating meat for thousands of years. So for vegetarian, they will argue that, since we were primates, our ancestors were primates, so we should be by default a vegetarian. But for the non-vegetarian, they will argue that we have been hunting for many years, in the savanna in Africa. So then after that we evolved. So that's why they justify why we should be non-vegetarian. We should eat meat. So my question is that in Buddha scripture narrate anything about the historical path of this humanity? Originally, were we vegetarian or were we meat eaters, or both? Or no? Thank you.
Actually, there are many scientific investigations. Our mouth, our teeth are produced by nature to thresh the grains and those kinds of vegetable things. Our teeth are not for the tearing flesh. The animals, the beings who are having this type mouth, they don't eat flesh. Think about cow. They eat grass. They are threshing this grass using this kind of teeth. They don't have very tiny and long, what is called that then? Incisors. So that kind of teeth we don't have. Naturally, they are having by those kind of tigers and lions and dangerous animals. They are created by nature to eat flesh. We don't have such kind of teeth. So other animals who are having the same nature, they never eat flesh. Cows never eat. Goats never eat flesh. So we, as human beings, we are eating. We have challenged to the natural creation. We have challenged. We are using these teeth for eating flesh. That scientific investigation has done. As brother said, for a long time we have practiced this meat eating. Even today there are many people in the world, in African side, and various civilizations are there. Yeah, it is there. Now there's a big tendency for the vegan food even in America, even in UK. There's a big tendency, as Dr. Mahinkanda mentioned, in America, they are promoting now the plant-based food. They have experienced the bad effects of meat eating. There are many side effects. So now there's a tendency to stop it. It's good. So it's harmful to the human body. People argue we can't take some kinds of protein which are coming from the flesh. We can't have them from the vegan food. But scientists have fruit. We can have from those kinds of proteins from grains, some kinds of leaves, plants. We can have. It is fruit. Okay.
Bhante, the training for the monks, I think as mentioned earlier, that we are not supposed to, the monks are not supposed to take food. They're supposed to control on the, the quantity they are supposed to take, and they're supposed to refrain from taking dinner. But does it mean that what the Buddha meant was that before noon, it's okay to take something which is solid. Then after that, it is okay to take something which is liquid, but in small forms?
Okay, it's a good question. As I mentioned earlier, the early period of the Buddha also went arms round at night. There were many problems towards the monks. Some people were afraid of the monks as thinking ghosts in front of the house, standing with the bowl. At night there was no light. When someone come out, they were afraid of monks, as thinking as the ghost. And some various kinds of charges happen to the monks when there is some stealing problems. There are many thieves. So they were captured by the soldiers or some royal officers, suspecting them as robbers or thieves. And also there's another incident, one lady throw out the water, bad water from her house. Then the monk was got wet because of that water. It was another problem. And also some charges happen related to the women. Monks are moving here and there at night in the villages. There may be some cases related to the women. They are associating women and they are having connection with the women's people were charging. So stop all those things. Buddha restricted to go alms round at night. As you asked, after noon, monks can go alms round. People can offer such kind of things as you have heard, ghee, and also some drinking things, herbal drinkings, and also the things which are very useful to the monks. In the period of Buddha, as you heard, Chatumadura, 4 kinds of delicious medicinal thing. They are honey and ghee, butter, and also the what is called sugar cane. How to translate it? Chatumadura mi pani vendaru gitel uksakuru kela. Jaggery, no? Jaggery and butter, ghee, and palm sugar. Farm sugar, sugar cane, no?
Yeah, sugar cane or palm sugar.
Yes. These things can offer to the monks some soft drinks and also soft food. The Chatumadura means 4 kinds of food. It is herbal and also medicinal thing. It can be cured various kinds of diseases. It was approved by the Buddha. So even in this period, you see the soups, various kinds of soup are offering to the monks. Even in time, the upasikas are bringing the vegetable soup and made by some grains. There are soups can offer, because Chatumadura is a little bit hard thing, herbal thing. So soup is very lighter than it. So can offer these things. Afternoon monks are having these things, but some monks are there, they don't drink even milk, cow milk. They don't drink soup. After 12 o'clock they never take anything, only drinking water. There are some monks, but if they have soup or those kinds of soft drinks, no problem. It is approved by the Buddha.
King Kosala, you said he had a problem bending down and paying homage to the Buddha.
Yes.
So after the Buddha's advice, what happened to him? After the Buddha's advice to King Kosala, did he lose weight?
Yeah. Actually, he followed the advice of the Buddha. He became slim. Yeah, according to commentary, it is explained. Yeah, he followed the advice. Always, he was always coming to the Buddha, listen Dhamma, and the close disciple of the Buddha, and he followed the advice. Okay, brother, let's finish now.